Good Saturday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up those football gods. Oh my goodness, turn the lights off. You know, I haven't been here enough that I am literally not remembering how to work the studio. I need to change that, but I've been working so hard on the red brick house and getting that together because, you know, of course, we are actually able to do a lot of the things we do here down there, and it will continue to get better and better. And eventually, we're going to have like a weekend sleepover at the red brick house and watch a game. Bring some people to come over, stay at the red brick house, watch a game, have a ball there. You know, I just can't wait. That is a dream fulfilled. And it was crazy this morning because on Facebook, I don't do a whole lot on Facebook. I'm more of a Facebook hit and runner. And, you know, I post some pictures on the red brick house, and immediately it says, you should do this as a reel. So I started putting some pictures up of the floor that we're working on the downstairs, and it's going to be gorgeous. And I was like, okay, let me put this picture, that picture. And I started going way back to where the floor was tore up and the walls where the brick was showing and how bad it was. And it's like, my God, I can't believe that that's the same place. So I'm really, really proud of what's going on there. I'm also proud of my Dallas Cowboys. Now we're getting, of course, all of the hate. They hate us so much. You know, I got my man Philly 500, who's basically saying, you know, Cowboys this in September, you know, we're the best team ever. October, yeah, we are right. November, start to fall apart. December, you know, it's becoming the Couch Boys. January, you know, just so much hate. Where they look at their team and they say, we're the greatest of all time, even though they haven't actually played great. They've given up the most TD passes in the NFL of 7. And it's not even close. Second is 5th. It's 5. Their quarterback seems kind of average right now. Now the people are corralling him in the pocket. Like I said, defensive coordinators are going to game plan against them in that offense. They won't admit that they have some issues with the new play calling, the 6 new starters, the injuries that they have. Now, we all have injuries. We just lost Diggs. That's going to hurt us. It's really going to hurt us. But we have players that have experience that will step in and step up and help pick up some of the slack. That's the nature of the beast of the season. We lost our starting quarterback last year, and we had Cooper Rush step in and play good. And we had the defense step it up another notch so that way it wasn't all in Cooper Rush. We had a quarterback who came back with a plate in his thumb in record time. Still got them to the playoffs. Still got them a victory over the greatest of all time. But yet people still say, you just suck. And it's okay. It's okay. But this is my new theme right now. I got to talk to Miss Tracy and see if she can do a shirt. Because we've got the... I forgot what you call the shirt. I mean, the machine, but basically it takes a piece of vinyl, it cuts out the outline, and you got to weed it all out, and then that gets put onto the shirts. So doing something with a lot of detail ends up being a lot of work. So I think the theme needs to be time to eat crow. Time to eat crow. That the Dallas Cowboys are going to make people eat crow. I got my crow right here. Got my crow. And I got the hot sauce to go with it because, you know, you can eat anything with ketchup and hot sauce. I need to put a ketchup bottle there because I'm hoping that this will be the Dallas Cowboys season that they make all of these mother humpers like Lord Brunson basically saying, oh, well, you know, it was only the Giants and the Jets, you know, you know, I'm not impressed. He's not impressed. He's not impressed. Well, in lesser years, the Cowboys seem to do pretty well against the Eagles. I believe Dak Prescott, the last 3 games he's played against the Eagles, that the offense, which you're not impressed by, has scored 40 or more points. I know you're not impressed. Maybe we'll put a 60 burger on it. Maybe you'll be impressed then. That's might be what it takes. But Lord Brunson, Philly 500, I got the crow ready for you. I got the crow ready for you. Now, there's been a lot of backlash against Bart Scott. Bart Scott, who, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to try and get your name out there. Dan Orlowski has been doing it for years, saying stupid shit.
Can take numbers and skew them any way we want. We often can take numbers and we'll fit them into the narrative that we want to try and paint. And I probably am guilty of this. Can take numbers and skew them any way we want. We often can take numbers and we'll fit them into the narrative that we want to try and paint.
Getting into ESPN is kind of like joining a gang. You have to take your beat in to get in. You have to go out there, you have to trash the Cowboys and say stupid shit so that way people hear that you're there. Dan Orlowski would literally, had literally a take that said, that Quincy Carter took the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. What? Quincy Carter did not take the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. You have to go ahead and literally sully yourself and look like a freaking idiot so that way people will talk about you because you get the blowback of Cowboy fans. Stephen A. Smith, he became the biggest personality on ESPN by doing just that, by always dissing the Cowboys. But what eventually starts to change is you start to change and evolve a little. Dan Orlowski is not quite as much of an idiot like he used to be with all of the stupid-ass takes. Now he's actually getting more into being, actually talking real talk, breaking down plays, and actually being a little bit more balanced. Not a lot, just a little bit. But he took his beat in. Well, Bart Scott has been trying to do this and been trying to get in for years. You might remember one of the dumbest takes of all time. Let me see if I can find it here this morning. Because this is with, it wasn't just him. Hopefully, the thing is with this clip is whenever I bring it back up, it always ends up being copyrighted because FS1 definitely doesn't want you to do it. So I'm just going to play the audio of it. But two people that ended up just being the most ridiculous takes in the world, Bart Scott and I guess it's Jenna Wolfe. No, what is her name? I can't remember what her name is. But she, of course, said, of course, Dak Prescott needs those guys to be successful. So, that other quarterbacks are winning Super Bowls without having people around them, just like Josh Allen is. He's got nobodies like Stephon Diggs and things like that. But listen to this.
Who's the last quarterback with intangibles that we saw win a Super Bowl?
Brady's got intangibles. I know
Brady's great. He's the greatest of all time.
But a lot of it is his intangibles. A lot of it with Joe Montana was his intangibles.
But Brady doesn't need anyone else on that offense to play well. Dak needs those two other guys.
He does. He doesn't throw it like Brady, obviously.
He needs a perfect situation to be a great quarterback or a second-tier quarterback. I'll let him walk and take Teddy Bridgewater, and you'll have a better football team.
You
give me Teddy Bridgewater right now, and the Cowboys are better.
Shiny suit man delivering.
Okay, yeah, okay. Now again, Dak, to literally say that quarterbacks don't need anybody out there is the dumbest shit. See, that just gets blown past it. That just gets blown past it because you look at it and say, well, Jalen Hurts should have won the Super Bowl last year without A.J. Brown because he's definitely needed that guy. He definitely needed that guy, and it still wasn't enough. It still wasn't enough. So you get these people out here that are supposed to be experts that are on these shows that aren't actually giving you any facts or anything to go by. They just give you bullshit. And then you listen to Bart Scott literally yesterday. He thought, okay, I got it this time. I got it this time. Oh, I really got it this time because, Stephen A. is always talking about the accident waiting to happen. You know what he was doing. He was like, yeah, I can't wait to do this one. They're gonna this is gonna be everywhere. Everybody's gonna say, you right. Yeah, they're gonna love me for this one.
This is a major, major blow for Dallas. And like Stephen A. always says, just wait. Something bad always happens.
No, don't start that. Don't start that. Let me tell you. No.
He was sitting there waiting like, he was just waiting. He was just waiting.
This is a season-ending injury, so I'm certainly not going to joke about that with Trayvon Diggs, my brother.
They were like, dude, really? And here's where it gets even funnier, because we've got all these shows, and now we understand why YouTube is becoming the thing. YouTube is becoming the thing because these shows that are there for hours with mindless minutia and straight up bullshit, the worst one has to be, and I hate to say it, Joy Taylor. Hate to keep going there, but it's so funny that the Dallas Cowboys have to be, they can't win 40-0 or 30-10, have the highest points differential in the NFL, to only have given up one touchdown, to lead pretty much in every category, leading sacks on the defense and stuff. Offense has been efficient, not turned it over, and we still need more. I still need. Or you get Shady McCoy. He's ass, and he doesn't pass the eye test. None of this stuff is based in reality. And here's what I find so funny is somehow the Eagles keep getting a pass. Now, again, it's still early. I'm the first one to always say, don't get too excited or too upset what you see in September, because things do change. Cowboys have been playing great so far. But most teams, this is still like preseason. They're still getting into their groove. They're finally actually beginning to hit and starting to get that under their belt. They're getting into the regular grind of the weekly practices. Some teams are in better shape to start the season and are ahead of other people because they played more in preseason. Other teams didn't play anybody, and it takes them a while to catch up, and all of a sudden they catch up and they go beyond those guys. These guys have already hit the pinnacle. Maybe the Cowboys have hit the pinnacle. Even if that's their pinnacle, thus far, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. But it's funny because this was yesterday's take from good old Joy Taylor for the Eagles. It almost sounds like she's setting them up for the failure for Monday.
This is a good opponent.
No doubt.
And we didn't know what the Bucs were going to be. I know, Shady, you picked them to win the division this year. We didn't really know what they were going to look like, but they have a top 10 scoring defense. They're 10th in total defense. They're top 10 in passing offense.
Todd Bowles got
only allowed one sack so far. Baker is 6th in passer rating. It's a career best in passer rating right now. 3rd in rush defense. 2nd in turnover margin. 1 of 5 teams with no giveaways. This isn't just a walk in and win type of situation. We're starting to get to that point in the season now already where teams are starting to shape up. We're kind of starting to see what they feel like. Starting to see to be surprised about. So I actually don't care what the Eagles look like in this game. I completely disagree. There are certain games where we're like, the Eagles need to go out and look crisp. They need to take advantage of this opponent. They're struggling right now. They don't have a backup quarterback. They're missing their number 1 receiver, whatever it is. This is a real opponent in the Bucs. Get this win however you can. Sloppy, walk-off field goal, whatever it needs to be. This is not the game that, to me, is going to determine what the Eagles are going to look like for the rest of the season. The Bucs are playing too well right now for me to say the Eagles need to go out there and light them up. That's disrespectful to the Bucs. A lot of players that have played and won a Super Bowl on that team. So I hear Jalen completely, particularly about this game. Just win, baby.
Really? So now Tampa Bay, to their credit, they beat Minnesota 20-17. 20-17, okay? And it wasn't prime time. And they beat the Bears 27-17, okay? So now we're told, and again, right now, not exactly the top-tier teams in the NFL. So you're saying, let me make sure I get this straight, because we're going to break this down and analyze this for a second. So you're saying that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that are 2-0 are a real team versus the other teams that you played in New England and Minnesota. You gave up 3 touchdown passes to New England and 4 to Minnesota. Minnesota, which whole offensive line was hurt. Minnesota that's lacking on defense. Minnesota that got rid of Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen. Minnesota that dropped passes like, Justin Jefferson literally fumbled on the 1-yard line, goes out of bounds, and would have been a major, major touchdown for them. Instead, you get a field goal before half that changed the complexion of the game. If you're saying that Tampa Bay is a real team, you're saying that you struggled against 2 teams that are ass and gave up 7 TDs. And you're now saying that, listen, just get a win? Just get away. This is you don't have to look great. Just find a way to win. Wait a minute. You guys have pounded in our head that the Philadelphia Eagles are, at some point the number one team in the NFL, best constructed, best coach, MVP quarterback, defensive line that's great, secondary better than the Cowboys, Super Bowl losing team that is great. Now you're saying against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield that has a win over the Minnesota Vikings and Bears that this is a real team and you just have to find a way to win? How do you have credibility? How do you have credibility then? You don't. You don't. And at some point, here's the problem. The problem is these shows are losing viewership. It's now who can be the loudest out there. You have to have crazy ass crap for people to watch, whether good or bad. People are watching right now that Bart Scott, hey, your name is trending on Twitter like crazy. Joy Taylor, your name is trending like crazy because of the drama, not because of the sports. And this is why YouTube, people like me, Joe the Fan, that aren't going to give you the bullshit. We're going to talk about our team and what we see. And yes, we will be shaded towards our team the same way Lord Brunson will say he's not impressed by the Cowboys. Well, I'm not impressed by the Eagles. But see, you get what you want. You actually get real news. You actually get better breakdowns. And it's almost comical because of things that we do. The film breakdown stuff that you see from Baldy, that was Law Nation and Vash Lombardi starting that shit out years ago. The morning videos, that was me. I started doing that every morning like 2016. And the live streaming, when it used to be just me and Law and Vash Lombardi doing this stuff. Now everybody and their sister does that. Things that we do get replicated on other shows, but that they got the budget, the time, the money, and the bandwidth to be able to spread it. But what you really get, and I'm not saying you need to watch me. There's so many Dallas Cowboys YouTubers. You might like yelling and screaming. You might like, I'm the older crowd. I'm the old guy. I'm the old guy. When they say OG, they're not saying original gangster. They're saying the old guy. And that's cool. I'm okay with having the older audience. You got the young Skywalkers and things out there, that they look nice. The haircut is perfect and stuff like that. They're high tech and things. There is a group for you instead of these guys out there. Now, we take on the Cardinals. The Cardinals, which are so far kind of lacking. The Cardinals, 2 games in, their offensive rank is 19th with Joshua Dobbs. Scoring offense. Yards, they're 23rd in the NFL. Their defense is lacking. They're 19th. They're 19th and 18th in yards and point scoring. They score most of their points early on. And what happens is teams come back. The Commanders, 20-16. They were up on the Commanders, and they blew the lead. The New York Giants, they were up on the Giants big time in the first half, and they gave up 31 to the Giants. Now, we've got the Commanders, who all of a sudden, they're 2-0. They're 2-0. Lord Brunson is impressed by Washington. He's impressed by Washington. But we're talking about them losing to the Giants and the Commanders. This should be a scrimmage. Joshua Dobbs should be scared to death because of shit like Bart Scott has said. Our Dallas Cowboys defense has the mentality of the Dallas Cowboys doomsday defense. That defense, I believe it was Ed Too Tall Jones said that Tom Landry said, if we hold the opponent to 17 points a game, we'll win the games. And basically they said, F that. We trying to hold them to no points. And the Dallas Cowboys defense, we're told in the locker room against the Jets that when they gave up that touchdown, they were pissed off. They were angry. It was like, remember the Titans, leave no doubt. I love it. I absolutely, positively love every bit of it. So let's hope that the Cowboys go in here, kick some ass, blow them away, do what you're supposed to do to an inferior team, that we don't have a letdown. We take care of business, and we let the talking heads find an excuse. Well, the Cardinals, they're just not a good team. They're not a good team. So, you know, the Cowboys only did what they're supposed to. We still got to see more. We know that that's what it would be Monday. We'll see what the Eagles do against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that are all of a sudden made out to be a great team. Rich Eisen. Rich is the anti-talking head, I will say. He's a New York Jets fan. He's not a Cowboys fan. But Rich Eisen should be the beacon of light that actually is what these shows should be. He has real takes. He has real conversations. He doesn't like the Cowboys. He doesn't want to see the Cowboys win, but he's not going to bullshit you at least.
Just feels different for your Cowboys this year, and I don't want to hear, well, the Giants are the Giants and the Jets are the Jets, because in the past, I know that they're owned by Jones and the Jets are owned by Johnson. The Cowboys used to step on their Jets owner in games just like this. Exactly like this one. There's an opponent that is an opponent we should beat, and we're playing down to that level of the competition, or we're going to have one untimely 3-and-out, one untimely turnover, one untimely, unprepared mistake, and they didn't have a single one of them yesterday or last Sunday night, 2 Sunday nights ago. The Dallas Cowboys, not a misprint. Look it up in the standings. You can see it. Next to 2-0 in some standings, you can see point differential. They're plus 60. They're plus, let me
60.
repeat this. They are currently plus 60. They were plus 40 in week 1 and plus 20 in week 2.
And the Raiders are in first place, and they're minus 27.
There you go. So, well, they're in first place, I think. Well, alphabetically they shouldn't be, right? Or they're in first place because they're 1-1 in division. I see. I think that's the tiebreak, right? Before they start playing the Chiefs,
They have
right?
a division win over the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs haven't yet to play in division.
I would just caution Cowboys fans, as someone who's watched this movie and been on this ride multiple times, like, hopefully we don't overlook Arizona next week.
I don't think you will. I think
the Patriots.
Man, stop being rational.
No.
I have to
go to the
because
Super Bowl.
Because that's what people want. They want the Cowboys fans to start with all the crap so they can. But like, if Cowboys Nation, if we just stay quiet, if we just act like we've been there before, take it week to week, don't get too high, don't get too low. Let's let this play out, man. I don't want to. I'm not booking.
That's
I mean, we're
TJ,
I'm not booking.
Let me say,
flight
look, Arizona has played well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's
they could be 2-0.
They could easily be 2-0. Like in their, they've played NFC East teams weeks 1, 2, and now coming 3.
Yeah.
So they've acquitted themselves very well for a team that's supposed to be tanking, for Caleb Williams, for a coach that's pew-pew-pewing and kicking buses and driving himself. They have done they have done much better. They have been in games. I fear for them week 3. Because you know who's not going to let them get it down? Their quarterback, and then that lion on the defense. Yep. They've got one of the best receivers in the game. Yep. They have got one of the best, yes, I'm going to say it, quarterbacks in the game. And they have got the best defender in the game, who's getting that much better every week. Yeah, how about them Cowboys? I don't care. I don't care about saying it. I'm not some guy who just talks about the Cowboys for clicks because of, I just talk about my team for clicks. I don't do anything for clicks, as you guys are wondering. Catch the Rich Show every
All right, at least Rich Eisen is more fair and balanced, at least giving them credit where credit's due. That's not to say that the Cowboys are going to go all the way. We don't know. But right now, as we go into this week, which is subject to change, you got to look at it and say, wow, the Cowboys, they're rolling right now. They're rolling. All right, good people. We have our live stream at 5 o'clock tonight. Hope you join in. I've got work to do. I've got to go see Rashid today, pick up the big sub, among other things. And so you know how we roll. Our Coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You've been one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is